Bad. All right, my friends, welcome into today's class. We are going to be featuring one of my favorite bundles from the new catalog. It is the Scalloped Blooms Bundle, and I'm going to be pairing it with two other bundles that will give us a wide range of cards to create, different themes, different occasions, for the most needed cards, probably. If you haven't had a look at the new catalog, if you need a catalog, reach out to me. But this is reading, studying, all the things in one. Besides the new catalog, we also have the new online features, or online exclusives, mostly focused on that Winnie the Pooh or Silly Old Bear suite. However, there are lots of others, or a handful of others, that are worth your browsing. There's a sweet one called Splash and Relax. Very sweet, very fun for summer. I love the little Ouch polymer stamp set and that thoughtful octopus. Lots going on. Besides that, we also have the product of the month, which is vellum. So we're going to get 12 sheets, 3 of 4 designs, and I received my packet. I absolutely love it. Haven't done anything with it yet, but know that when you place an order of $75, one, you can pick up the product of the month for just $5 more, and two, if you shop with me, I will send you an exclusive tutorial with 12 different project tutorials from 12 different demonstrators, giving you lots of ideas on what to do with that product. And one last thing before I get started on class, there is a new starter kit offer, which is amazing, just $99 for $125. And for May, you will get all of the new in-color pads included in your kit, or you can choose to get $35 more in product. All right, so we got that taken care of. We are going to get started with those cards that I promised to share with you, and I'm going to show you. I am starting with the Scalloped Blooms Bundle. This is the bundle that has these amazing layered dies, all of the circle scallops. We can do a lot with these dies, and the coordinating stamp set has beautiful sentiments that we can use for all those different occasions that I'm mentioning. My go-to is probably birthday, happy birthday, but there's also a great thank you, a thinking of you, have a good day, and I like that they gave us the coordinating stamp for the inside. For example, happy birthday, wishing you a day of relaxation, happiness, and love. Great bundle. That's a great starting point. And for my first card, I'm just going to focus on that one bundle. So this one is Have a Good Day. This is card number 1. We are letting the paper shine, so there's no overthinking on this card required. Now, so I mentioned the paper. The paper I'm using is the Bloom Boutique paper with beautiful small florals, but I think what makes this product really fun, you can see it on camera and you can see it in person, all these little golden shimmers on each sheet. And the flip side, who would want to use the flip side, but you need the flip side, does not have the gold. However, it has some coordinating patterns that are going to work nicely on our cards. So card number 1 is going to feature the beautiful paper. We're going to let it stand out. Let me walk you through the card. We're going to start with the crisp cantaloupe card base. I'm going to put that right up there so I remember what my card's supposed to look like. And it's a standard card size. I am a big advocate for the standard card. I love a fun fold. Who doesn't, right? Raise your hand if you love a fun fold. However, what I've discovered over time with the fun folds is I think it's the crafter who loves the fun fold more than the recipient. Lots of my recipients can't figure out what to do with the fun fold, how to open it, how to display it, all the things. And so I think some of my favorite fun folds might be the pop-up surprise inside, but otherwise I like to stick with the standard. We've got the standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We have a basic white layer, and we have one cut from the gorgeous paper, and I love how it has that gold set right inside of it. We are going to layer up that pattern paper, and I'm using my go-to favorite adhesive. And the key to this, it's a new bottle, so of course it oozes out a little, is the Not a Lot, just a little trail of liquid glue to mat it on the layer of basic white. It brings out the colors. Just that little white border really makes this pattern pop. All right, so the focal point again is going to be the pretty pattern paper. And let's see, let me not get confused here. So I'm going to add some of those scallops from the bundle. So I have one in crisp cantaloupe, medium size, and I have a smaller one where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Look how sweet the little stitching is on that. So cute. All right, so then we are going to stamp. And because I'm stamping, I'm going to bring in a little piece of chipboard, and I'm using the Have a Great Day sentiment from the stamp set. And here comes the new ink pad, crisp cantaloupe. You know, the nice new design. And I think if I open it this way, you can see, open it like a book, very easy to open. It has the magnet so it will stay closed. I'm going to, let's see if I can layer up here. And it has the linen pad, which I love. And I'm gonna do a tap, tap, tap movement to get all inked up. And before I stamp on my paper, I'm gonna give it a shot on my chipboard. And it looks like I've got pretty good coverage on the ink-wise. And the tricky thing is we're gonna turn that little scallop where we have the wide petals there, because that's how the sentiment fits on this little scalloped flower. Have a good day. Very sweet. So what might I send this for? Because I'm going to give you the sneak peek on the inside. It says thinking of you. So this would be a great card for someone who needs a little pick-me-up, a little comfort, maybe a goodwill card. Just the overall thinking of you reason to send a card, right? All right, so next I am going to actually adhere my matted layer to the crisp cantaloupe. I'm telling you, my friends, this is the simple design with the paper doing all the heavy lifting. And that's how you go from stuck to card done, ready to go in the mail. All right, and again, you don't want to apply too much liquid glue. It will ooze out. Next, I'm going to take one little gold label. This comes from the Stitched Label set of dies. And I'm going to snip it right down the middle. We are going to place it right behind our crisp cantaloupe die cut. But I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use some mini glue dots. I find liquid glue, my favorite, doesn't work so nicely with the gold, with any of the foil papers. So I've just got a little glue dot, and I'm going to split that so I have a little banner peeking out on both sides. Let's see if that's about where I want it. Yep. And I'm going to center that right on there. Oops. And it looks like I need to tweak that a little bit. So from this point, I can go ahead and add liquid glue. I'm going to just do a flat adhesive, not a lot. And I'm just going to place it kind of down. I want it to fall off the matted layer. I'm telling you, this is simple. This is Anna Marie simple. You know, I think it's the sentiment that's heartwarming. You don't need a lot of fancy. This little die cut I'm going to pop up with dimensionals. So let me grab a couple of those, and I'm using my minis. I'm just going to put a couple in each petal, or some of the petals, right there. And here's where I want to make sure that my sentiment is straight. All right, we're almost there. We're going to finish it off with the embellishments that coordinate with the ink colors. These are called the ink color dots. There are dots for each ink color, and I'm going to pick the Peaceful Pine. I'm going to pick 3. I'm going to start with one of the larger ones, place it on the little petal, and you know, we like the embellishments in a little triangle of 3. You don't have to. Sometimes 2 will do, just nicely. There we go. So there's the front of the card. Let's do our insert as well. We've got a rectangle of basic white. My inside greeting is going to be a very simple thinking of you. And I'm going to do the way I like to ink up is flip over the stamp, tap, 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 so that I'm not getting any excess ink on the stamp. And I like to place mine kind of high, so I have a little bit of space to write a message and sign. And of course, I'm going to try to do it straight and press. And there we go. Inserts for me always go flat. So again, like just a trail. I've got a nice border, and I like to weight my bottom border just ever so slightly. I don't know, that came from framing pictures where I learned that bottom border should have a little bit more weight to it. And there we go. There is our first card. Have a good day. The paper's doing all the work. We added a simple stamp sentiment, and we popped up with dimensionals because, you know, flat cards are fine, but we can do better. So when the paper has this much detail, you want to keep your sentiment nice and clean and simple. The little gold banner adds an instant polish, like almost 0 effort. And the embellishments in the triangle are just guiding the eye around the rest of the card. Have a good day. Let's see, are you on the team of let the paper do all the work, or do you want to just stamp all the things? I kind of vote for the paper because it makes a quick, simple card. Next in my lineup, let's see, I'm going to shuffle over, and I'm going to bring in another one of my favorite bundles. Let me see. Let me clean up a little bit here. I'm going to bring in a favorite bundle called Balloon Festoon. Let's see if I can bring it up to show it to you. So it's another bundle. Oh, thank you, Sandy. She said she loves the card. Very simple, clean and simple. So Balloon Festoon is one of those bundles that is great for celebrations. We've got the happy birthday, enjoy your day, you did it, think graduation, retirements, any reason to celebrate, and just cheering people on with hip hip hooray. So you've got the balloon images, little falling confetti, falling stars, that little swoosh there up at the top. But again, this bundle relies on the beautiful dies in the bundle. Look at the size of the balloon. Truly amazing. It's got some nice little strings, and it even has the little accent marks that you can put on the balloons that kind of are catching the light. We are going to go with the balloons for this happy birthday card. You can see again, we're going to use that scallop from the Scalloped Blooms Bundle. And we're showcasing another one of the ink colors here. That's the Secret C. And let me share with you the ingredients in this little card. So here we go. Pacific Pine, right? Oh, it's taking a while to learn all the names. They're not coming, they're not just flowing off the tip of my tongue anymore. So again, standard card. This is just the same old card that you open. It's flat, it has your greeting inside. It is what connects, it's the connection point. We're gonna use that little floral pattern with the Pacific Pine background. On the back is that hydrangea hue, and it's almost a shame not to use this side because it's got the gold in it, but we're gonna have to. I'm gonna bring in some of those little scallops with another backing, another pretty backing, but we're just using a little 1-inch strip here, so it's gonna be okay. We are gonna map this directly onto the Pacific Point. Peaceful Pine card base. So it's scallops with a totally different vibe this time. Pattern background for subtle layer, this little tone on tone. We've got like an 1/8 of an inch border. We're going to be layering the balloons and adding ribbon and gold accents because that's what birthdays are all about, adding a little bit of sparkle. The floral pattern is going to butt right to those scallops with flat adhesive. And so we've got about an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And on this one, we don't want to take it too chaotic. We've got 2 or 3 main colors. So we've got the Pacific Pine, we've got the crisp cantaloupe, and then I'm going to bring in that golden glow in the balloons. And notice how I'm varying the sizes of the balloons. So I did pre-die cut them. I've got my golden glow, my crisp cantaloupe, and a peaceful pine. And what I'm going to do to attach the little strings, they have a little cap on them, and I pre-cut them in gold foil. I'm going to attach them to the balloons with a little mini glue dot right behind. And to remove that, make sure I get it all. You just have to be gentle. I'm going to roll or fold that little glue dot, and we're going to place it right onto one of the balloons, right there. I'm going to repeat and do the second balloon. You might notice I cut only 2 strings. That's because we can use 2 for 3 balloons. We're going to snip one of the strings, and I'm trying to be gentle, lifting that and folding it. And then I'm going to attach it right to the knot of the balloon. See how long that string is? We're going to use that. We're going to use that to our advantage. So I have my little balloons ready here. I'm going to bring in my scallop, which I pre-die cut, but notice how I cut part of it off. We're just going to have that abutting to the seam of the 2 pattern papers. So let's go ahead and stamp that. This time we're stamping. I want to make sure I'm putting things away so they don't get inky. I have an open ink pad here, which just is an accident waiting to happen. So I'm going for my Golden Glow ink pad. There we go. It's a beautiful gold color. I'm going to bring in my Happy Birthday. This is from the Bloom Boutique Bundle. And I'm going to stamp fairly low. Let me bring this over a little bit. Fairly low on the scallop circle. I want some space for those balloons to flow. And that's Golden Glow again, very pretty golden color. Now I'm going to add some splatter with my Peaceful Pine ink pad. Now, I have not purchased any of the shimmer brushes. We're gonna wait and see. I'm just gonna grab some ink off my ink pad. Oh, that's a lot. I'm gonna take an aqua painter, watercolor brush, whatever you've got on hand. I'm gonna drop a little bit of water on there, and let's add some splatter to our scallop. Not a lot. The bigger the dot when you get a little bit closer. So I think you could also flick it. Let's try, I haven't tried flicking it. That might not be the best idea. Not bad. The problem is, now I have an inky finger. However, I do have a little paper towel to clean off on. All right, so we have a little bit of splatter. I'm gonna remove that, get it out of the way before. Clean up here. There is Fergus saying hello. His brother spent the day at the groomers this morning, so they're looking quite spiffy now. All right, so let's go with our stamped scallop. We are going to adhere that to our card front. Whoa, I think I got some splatter off the mat. Let's just wipe that down so we don't get any white layers smudgy. Again, we're gonna do flat adhesive. And we're gonna butt it right to the seam here. Now we're gonna add the Golden Glow balloon first, and I'm gonna add that with a couple of dimensionals up at the top. And it's gonna peek off of the scallop, and it's gonna cross over both patterns right there. Now let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the longer balloon, or the balloon with the longer string, which is this one, Chris Cantaloupe, and I'm gonna wanna place it right around there. And what I'm gonna do is snip that little string, if I can find my paper snips. And we're gonna bring down that third little string. Since we only cut 2 strings, but we have 3 balloons, I'm gonna add the tiniest bit of liquid adhesive. So you could use your adhesive sheets on these strings. Remember, you have to pre-think that though. Okay, I just want it to be a little bit sticky. And I'm gonna bring this down so that, let's go this way, so that I've got 3 strings showing at the bottom. That doesn't look awkward. Let's secure that down. Let's add our crisp cantaloupe. Actually, let's add first our Peaceful Pine. There's a strategy to it, right? And I'm gonna put my little dimensional off to the side. This is going to come, let's see, right around so. And then finally the crisp cantaloupe. And it's gonna come towards the front. And let's see, a little bit higher. Yep, you want, this key is to place your dimensionals so that they're not stacking up. There we go. All right. Excuse me. All right, that's better. Okay, so now I'm gonna snip that last little string, and we are going to, let's see, we can put a little mini glue dot back there so that they don't bend about. This last thing you want is those little strings to snag when you're trying to get your card into the envelope. And let's see, I'm gonna bring it up a little bit higher. What I'm doing is picking whereabouts I'm going to be putting my bow that kind of ties these little balloons together, and I'm putting the glue dot right in that area so that we don't have any random stickiness. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to bring in another new product, which is the white gel pen. And I showed you on the die set, we actually have dies that can do the little, I don't know, what would you call these, little streaks of light? And there we go. I'm just going to kind of curve around. It's nice to have a white gel pen in our arsenal again, right? And I'm going to add that on each balloon and just kind of bend it around. So there's a little bit of detail for the balloons. And then let me bring in my pretty little bow. This is with the Peaceful Pine ribbon. I love the ribbons that we have. They're very pliable. They bow up nicely. And I pre-made a pretty little bow. I'm gonna add it with the glue dots. So trust me, first create the bow and then glue it down. And I'm gonna put a glue dot right behind the knot. I'm gonna place it right over where I just put all of the little strings. And see, I've kind of got that there. And I'm gonna train my little tails. I'm gonna bring in a glue dot. I go through a lot of glue dots, almost as much as dimensionals. And I'm gonna bring the tail down. There we go. And on the other as well. These are really sticky glue dots. All right, so let's bring this over so it comes down a little bit further. And we are gonna snip this. I'm gonna bring in some ribbon scissors and trim down the little bow. It's coming together, right? I'm liking it, and we're gonna finish up on our insert. We're gonna do, again, that nice little greeting. This comes from the Bloom Boutique stamp set. And I'm doing it in, so here you might notice I am using my Memento black pad. Did you know we have a new hybrid pad that is supposed to take the place of both our Memento pad and our Stays On pad? So meaning you can use it with water-based or alcohol-based. However, I have not yet mastered that hybrid pad. I'm having issues with it, and until I master it, I'm not going to be sharing it because I don't want anybody to feel like they're goof ups, right? Just because we can't stamp, right? We got to figure it out. And we're going to need to, because the Memento pad is no longer offered by Stampin' Up. You guys know I go with just Stampin' Up product. I love Stampin' Up. It is quality product. There's my little insert. We're almost finished. Let's add some embellishments. I'm going to bring in those dots, and this time I'm going to use those golden glow dots. And here's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just need two. I'm going to bring one large and one small. And there's my happy birthday card with balloon festoon. Whoops, sorry about that. Wishing you a day of relaxation, happiness, and love. Nice little happy birthday card to have in your stash, because I don't know about you, birthdays are my most needed cards. However, there are others that we need to have as well. All right, we are plugging along. Do you have anybody with a birthday coming up? Who might you need a birthday card for soon? So third card, our focus is going to be clean and elegant with a little bit of clustering focus. And can you tell which bundle I'm bringing in? This now is the All of Flutter bundle. Sandy, are you talking about that balloon festoon? Sandy says she thinks that she needs that bundle now. If you're talking about balloon festoon, I totally agree. It's a go-to. It's going to be a go-to. Lots of celebrations that go with or balloons go with lots of celebrations. All the things. It's just that's what balloons mean to me. Celebrating. As these pretty little butterflies, and the winning part on all of Flutter is the coordinating punch that punches all 3 butterflies. Because if you've been a stamper for any time, you probably have a butterfly stamp set. Why would you need another one, right? Well, the reason is this one has a great punch that gives you 3 butterflies in one punch. No need to bring out the cut and emboss machine. It's quick and easy. I am definitely a punch girl. So on this one, we're going to be stamping with the solid butterflies. You see you get 3 different styles of butterflies. You can get the outline there and fill in, or the detail and fill in with the background, or you can stamp with that solid image. That's what we're going to go for. And look at the sweet little sayings. Fluttering by to say hi. Friend, you are so appreciated and thinking of you today. And that little row of butterflies. Too sweet. Too sweet. And we're sticking with the same paper and the same scallop. And this time we are using Golden Glow, that beautiful honey golden color. And let's see if I can make some space here without getting inky, because we're doing some heat embossing, my favorite wow technique. Okay, so I've got my Golden Glows, and you guessed it, standard card size. Going to bring in my bone folder. I mean, who needs fun folds when we can do some beautiful, simple cards? So we've got Golden Glow. This time we're using the Golden Glow Posies. Again, they have that golden shimmer back there. This paper is so sweet. It reminds me of the old style quilting paper. Of course, that didn't have shimmer to it, but these sweet little flowers with the background colors, just so perfect. All right, so I'm gonna layer up. And this is when, this little card is when you want a little more wow without the extra stress. The large scallop is gonna be our focal point again. We are going to add our greeting with gold embossed powder. So I'm going to bring in a couple things. I'm going to bring my Versamark pad, 2, my embossing buddy, because sometimes those flecks just get in the way. So I'm just going to rub that on, pre-treat it, eliminate some of those scattered flecks, and oops, I better clean my happy birthday stamp. Use my little chamois off camera there. All right, then I'm gonna bring in my pad, and let's push that there and stamp on my chipboard. So I wanna make sure I'm inked up nicely. And this time I'm going to stamp a little bit higher and at an angle. We're going to have those butterflies flying into our greeting. Pressing down firmly, and let's see. I'm going to bring in my gold powder. And this wow powder really is wow. And bring in lots of powder, just pour it all over. And then make sure we get coverage and tap off the excess. And let me have a good look at everything. I see one little fleck there, and a little bit up the side there. And let's melt this down. I do have my heat tool at the ready here. Let's see. And I'm gonna, usually I blow from below. It helps with the heat a little bit more. And I do normally use my little tongs so my fingers don't burn, because this heat tool gets hot. Let's see if I can do it this way. There we go. Better. Now you know you're done when everything's shiny. There are no dull bits. If you have anything that's dull, it means it just needs a little bit more time. And there is a fine line in overheating. You don't want to heat too much because it will make your powder then spread. All right. So this scallop then gets layered up. Right through here. Flat adhesive, and I'm going to put a little bit down the side there and abut it up to the side. So the nice thing is you can have the scallop just kind of peeking into the card. You don't necessarily have to use the full scallop on every card. Some of them are pretty big, you saw. All right, so we're going to add that. Then I've got 3 little leaf branches, and I borrowed these from the Forever Florals die set. I just needed a little bit of greenery for my butterflies. And I'm going to place these on with a little glue dot. And I'm just going to kind of mimic what I've already got. So one there, you can arrange them however you like. You can fuss and move and all that, and it really won't make a difference. Trust me, it won't make a difference. And then one more. This one's pointing downward, and it's going to come down right like so. Okay, let's set that aside while we do our stamping. And we are going to have some Golden Glow butterflies. I have a little scrap of basic white. I have my butterfly image from All of Flutter. And I have my Golden Glow ink pad. So let's see. I'm going to push down. And I want to make sure, and I'm tapping, I want to make sure I've got the stamp well inked. So it's pouncing down, and I just know I want this at an angle. Push down. Not bad. All right, let's get rid of the ink pad. And bring in our punch. And it comes right into that corner. And I like to kind of grip it close until I find just the spot, just the angle for my butterflies. And perfect. And I should have 3 butterflies there. 1, 2, 3, and these are going to be popped up with dimensionals. Let's see. And little dimensionals. Let's go ahead and fold our little butterflies so they look like they're in action. Just bring them in on the that, and 3. And the dimensionals, I'm going to start with my biggest and the medium size and the little. Let's sweep that off. I'm not sure why I've got, oh, that was my rubbish from the last card. Okay, let's bring in our card. Again, start with the biggest. And he's gonna be kind of leaning in. I have the medium one, which is kind of going opposite direction, but right above. And I have a little on this final branch. So nice little cluster, and I am gonna add, look at this little ribbon snip. This is the Golden Glow ribbon snip. You don't need a lot of ribbon, and typically I don't like to put a lot because it gets bulky, and then that's when I worry that the postman will will make a decision not to deliver my card, think it needs more postage, send it back to me. Things happen. So I try to abide by the post office's rules. They do have a thickness rule. I think it's 1/4 of an inch thick. It has to fit through a little slot. And all right, so I think I'm gonna need a couple of glue dots. Let's see. Trying to squeeze this in under my big butterfly, and it's gonna require, I'm gonna add a couple of glue dots here. That way it sticks. There we go. So happy birthday. Let's create our insert again. I'm telling you, the sentiments on this stamp set are what you need. And let's see. Wishing you a day. So no worries that you have already used this sentiment, because your person's only getting one of these cards, right? They're not seeing the whole collection. They don't know all your cards have the same greeting. There we go. And straighten it out. So you could pretty up the insert even more, stamp some more butterflies, add some pattern paper, whatever you want. But here we are with a clean and elegant card with that cluster focus point. The stamp plus the punch for the butterflies makes the easy button. The little greenery, it just balances everything out. And we finish it off with that pretty ribbon. And we're going to add our embellishments, those nice little dots. Okay, so again, a little weighted at the bottom. There we go. So we want to group those elements, 3 butterflies, that's their sweet spot. It's the gold and the neutral tones. All of that contributes to why the card works. So which one are you liking so far? Do you have a favorite? I don't know. I like the balloons. I like the butterflies. You always need the simple. And hey, this time I'm going to bring in another color. I'm going to bring in that pretty hydrangea hue, and I'm going to do the 2 embellishment choice. So 1, 2, there we go. And let's add a little extra. Bring in our traditional Wink of Stella, none of this colored shimmer brush, just regular Wink of Stella. I'm adding just the tiniest of it to the body. And you could even do a little bit in the little dots. It's gonna shimmer. You might not see it on camera, just a little tiny bit of shimmer. You could, and some people will, just Wink of Stella the entire butterfly, but I like just that little tiny bit of shimmer to go around. All right, so there is our last card. It's a happy birthday. So what are our takeaways here? We've got simple layouts on all the cards. We have that go-to shape with the Blooms Boutique scallop. So we have the basic bundle, then we add some of the other bundles to vary it up a little bit. And that's it. That's the magic. So if you're loving these products and these cards, one, you will want to check out my blog post. It will be up tomorrow. It'll give you all the supplies that I've used. And of course, if you shop with me, I have a few extra perks for you along the way. So any order at the Just Stamp shop is going to get a thank you tutorial. With $50 order, you will get the kit to make all the cards. If you bump your order up to $75, you have the option to add that product of the month. And I will give you the customer exclusive Creative Vault tutorial with 12 different tutorials. And yeah, if you're really loving all the bundles, I'm going to ask you to look closely at that starter kit. If you are wanting at least 3 bundles, it would be worthwhile for you to look closely at that kit. Get with me. We can put our heads together and work it out. Reach out if you need some help. So let's see. Thanks so much for spending just a little bit of crafty time with me today. Grab your supplies, make a card, and send it so you can make some Wednesday. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate you and your time and your kind comments. I will see you soon. Have a great day.